Max Montesino, it's so good to be with you again. I missed you on your sabbatical. Well-earned, well-deserved sabbatical.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
And Max, now that you're back, and now you're thrust right back into American politics, and I'd like to ask you this. Who would win today? We're going to start at the top. President Barack Obama has already sewed up the number of delegates he needs, and he is going to select again Vice President Joe Biden. On the Republican ticket, as we know, it will be Mitt Romney, former governor of Massachusetts, and he will select a vice presidential candidate. If the election were today, who would win?
I would think that the Democratic ticket will win, Barack Obama and Joe Biden, for many reasons, including the great advantage that they have among women, the great advantage that they have among the youth and the Latinos, and that's a strong coalition, my friend, that Mitt Romney doesn't have it yet.
And Max, you hit my next question already. You mentioned women, you mentioned youth, and then you mentioned Hispanics. Right now, there's what's called a gap. If people were to vote today, let's just say women, and everybody voted 50-50, there is no gap. The gap is zero. But right now, there is a gap where more women would vote for President Barack Obama than they would for Romney. There's also a Latino gap, and it's getting much publicity in the media. Much more than since you returned. It's been getting more publicity absolutely. In the media. And I heard this, a group called Latino Voto, the executive director, which is advocacy group for Latinos in America and immigration reform, and encouraging people to vote, absolutely. And so on, said that the Latino gap right now is about, based on the polls, about 40%, which means in favor of Obama versus Romney. And how do you close that gap? One solution is to select Senator Marco Rubio from Florida as a vice presidential candidate. Another solution is to move to be more moderate and really common sense on immigrants and immigration reform. Do you see that happening?
First of all,
because that Latino gap is important.
Yeah.
This person said, I want to tell you what this person said, that Mitt Romney will not win without closing both the women gap,
and the Latino gap.
And right now, it's like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah,
it's pretty wide on both.
Yeah,
on both.
And let me tell you why I think that gap is not going to be easy to close. During the primaries, the real Romney was revealed. The anti-immigrant Romney, the person that cannot, that would veto the DREAM Act, the person whose advisors are recognized anti-immigrant, and the person that doesn't understand the immigration issue. Selecting a senator that is a Latino is an insult to the Latino community because the name doesn't carry the substance behind it. Marco Rubio is terrific because he's a senator and he's a Latino. And I even personally, as the little thing that I have seen about him, I like him. But he represents exactly the opposite of the interest of the Latino community. Mm-hmm. And you cannot fabricate a candidate or an issue to surprise a community. We are not stupid. The real Romney was revealed during the primaries. The one that will veto the DREAM Act, the one that called amnesty to comprehensive immigration reform, the one that has been surrounded by staunch anti-immigrants as advisors. And that is something that the Latino community will take into account and will select very well for whom they will be voting.
Max, I would love to continue this. I've got like 4 or 5 questions right off the bat and more comments. But I'm looking at the timer that we have here in front of us. And if I'm reading that correctly, we need to adjourn this, and I hope continue it again later.
Absolutely. We need to talk
final
about
comments, Max, and
Indiana.
Welcome back.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Thank
welcome
you, Dan.
So much.
Thank you so much.